In today's Celtic FC news, there's still no news about the big Greek, whether he's leaving Celtic or not. Ange Postecoglou yesterday says that Nicholson is no longer taking his calls. I think he was a bit tongue-in-cheek for that. Davy Martindale, the mad Livingston manager, should he really be talking about Celtic? But he's insisting that basically Livingston could win the league if, for pound, Jesus, Davy, you're still on the gear again. We all know that you're past, but what is he doing talking about Celtic on Livingston TV? He's telling everyone that basically Livy could win the league. The guy's mad, isn't he? One of the things that we need to talk about is the fact that Ange Postecoglou made it 50 wins as the Celtic manager, and he's got his old Socceroos charge, Aaron Moy, to thank for that at the weekend. We're also then going about Chris Commons has been talking about a current Celtic member of staff that he thinks should take over the managerial job at Aberdeen. There was a lot of comments yesterday saying that no Celtic player or ex-player should go near the Aberdeen job, and Juranovic goes on about little Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor hits 400 appearances for Celtic, and Callum wants to emulate Scott Brown and get over that 600 mark. And then we'll go to the comments section, and we'll talk about that also and see what you're saying in yesterday's video. So back to the crazy Davy Martindale. He basically says, after watching Livingston draw with Hearts, he basically said that although Celtic are 9 points clear with a comfortable advantage, Martindale went to bat his side. He says basically that if lifting the trophy at the end of the season, he says points for pound, it would be the Amityville outfit. Maybe he's on about a pound a year, because we all know how it's passed. Anyway, crazy Davy Martindale talking about Celtic, and it just seems to be an obsession with Sevco 11 ex-players and supporters. They just love talking about us. Anyway, moving on, we'll go straight over to Ange Postecoglou wins his 50th game for Celtic, his 50th Premiership win, and he thanked Aaron Moy, who basically scored the penalty and the cracking cross for the other goal at the weekend for yesterday, which was just a cracking cross, wasn't it? So basically Postecoglou has basically been stated as saying in another universe he would be playing in the English Premiership. He would still be playing down in the English Premiership. So, with the transfer and the balance of Guacamakis still, it's Willie, won't he be going from Celtic? But what about Callum McGregor, and every chance he gets to pull on the hoops, that's 400 games. I can remember when Ronnie Dyler brought him in, and that was the 3 games in Paisley, if you remember. And there was guys on our bus at the time in his first game said, the guy's useless, the young boy's useless, he'll never make it. And I said at the time, this guy is your future captain. He's a future Celtic captain. I'd seen him through the ranks, and it's just brilliant for Callum. I know he gets some stick sometimes, and it's just typical of the Celtic support. We seem to love our foreign players, and we give the Scottish guys a really hard time. Manager Ange Postecoglou claimed that the Celtic captain treats every game like it was his first after hitting the milestone on Sunday yesterday. I think when you pull on the jersey, McGregor says, and play for this club, you're under pressure every single week. You give the best for yourself, and you're judged at the highest levels and highest standards. So bear that in mind. Every time that you play for this club, these supporters, you have to give your absolute maximum, and that's what it should look like. The 29-year-old, he's still only 29. He's still got a good few years left on, has Callum. He goes on about Scott Brown, who made 620 appearances. McGregor went on to say, Brown is a real iconic figure who looked after himself and was ever present for the club. That's massive numbers and it was testament to Scott Brown that he played so many games for Celtic, and Callum wants to emulate that. Jamesy Forrest can't be far off that also. So 2 players that have been at Celtic for a long time, and it's just fantastic for me. I think it's great that Callum's still at the club and running about that midfield and taking control. Aaron Moy has totally come onto a game. He's getting better and better. Juranovic even said at the weekend, who's maybe having regrets already, said that he was a legend already. Talking about Juranovic, he said that he turned down the likes of Man United and everybody because he wanted first team football. He didn't want to go and be a backup player, so that's why he chose Berlin. to further his career. Crazy that. Chris Commons says that John Kennedy must go to Aberdeen and take over the Aberdeen managerial job. I think that would be a wrong move for John. John's done really well. He's seen so many managers come and go at Celtic. I think he's in a good place there, and he's well respected within the club and the coaching staff. I think sometimes when a player goes and then takes over as a manager, it doesn't always end as good as what it was or what they think it could be. You know, sometimes being that number two, being that coach and being in a really good position and being chased after is sometimes a better position to be longer term. So let's jump over to the comment section. Donny Boy says, as for Neil Lennon joining Dolly, I think it'd be great for each other. I don't think Lenny's up for that job now. I don't think they're going to go after him. Lenny's plenty of experience. And he then goes on about McCarthy living the dream, just as we all did, and we all pull on the Celtic top when you go to games, and so there's that bit of you just inside, you know. And it does, yeah, he goes on to say that he maybe regrets choosing English over signing for Celts back in the day. And JJ says Aberdeen would be perfect for Lenny. I'm not sure if that's going to even get a sniff now. Kookaburra says we should have signed James McCarthy from Hamilton. By the time we went to Edinburgh, we couldn't. Edinburgh. It's me thinking because I'm going home soon. By the time we went to Everton, we couldn't afford him anyway. His time up at Celtic, along with Abelgard and Ida Gucci. And Lenny, Brian Morrison says Lenny was always going to be linked. Lambert, I'm not so sure about. And then last we'll go on to James Barkley says, when Scott Brown went to Aberdeen, my Don's supporting mate said he's our bastard now. Happy to have him. So on that note, I hope you have a great day, Celtic fans. As soon as we hear anything with the Juranovic deal, the Gorgios Guacamakis deal, once we hear anything about that, we'll jump back on and give you an update. Juranovic is way to Berlin. Where's the Greek going? We have no idea.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party.